contested, nice hands, drives and scores. Picked him off, beautifully done.
My name is Mr. Ebenezer Flomo. I teach world history and African American history, and I am a Cardinal Nation. I am from Crystal, but originally from Liberia. I've been here for 15 years now. I came here in 2005. Came to get married to my wife, and we've been happily married for 15 years. In Liberia, I went through a 14-year civil war. During that time, I lost my mom, my two aunts. I was almost killed, and I was tortured, and eventually I ran and went to another country to seek refuge and came back again, and it wasn't easy. So those are the major challenges that I've overcome. My hero is my wife. Because of my wife, I am alive today. Like I just told you about the civil war that I went through. It was during this war that I met my wife online, and she encouraged me to stay alive because people were dying, people were being killed, and people were, in a sense, committing suicide. It was just a matter of when I'm going to die. So should I suffer longer before I die, or should I just be careless with my life before I die? But when I met my wife, and at that time she wasn't my wife, she was just a friend of mine, and she really showed interest in me and was really passionate about me. And every time we talk on the phone, when she heard the gun being shot and I'm running away hiding, she would just crash and cry. So I felt that by being alive, by trying to really be alive, I'll be helping her. I won't disappoint her. So she's my hero, and she has also been really involved with what we're doing in Liberia. The cocoa project we have in Liberia, the other projects like the hotel we're building in Liberia and helping my people, she is really, really involved in it. So she is my hero. My dream is to build a school in Liberia, to build a high school from, we call it elementary school, junior high, and high school. The reason why I want to build a school is because of my experience as a student in Liberia. It wasn't easy. Education wasn't easy. I found it really difficult. For us here, education is free, especially primary education is free. In Liberia, education is not free. So I had to work and pay my school fee and walk to school and back from school. And education is almost like the opposite of here. When it comes to discipline in Liberia, when you misbehave home, your parents call your teachers and tell them that you misbehave home, and then the teacher punishes you. And so, but here, we call parents and tell them that your child did this, but it's the opposite in Liberia, and we don't have transportation. So we walk to school back and forth. I used to walk 3 miles to school and 3 miles back. I was 9 years old when I began school because I needed to be able to walk to school, and from school to defend myself when attacked, to be able to run. So I started school at 9. And so when I go to Liberia, I see students going through the same thing that I went through. It reminds me, and it just makes me feel that I need to help these students. I need to help give them opportunities. They might not have the same opportunity that I have, so I want to give them that chance to be able to achieve what they want to achieve. Don't give up. As long as you set your mind to what you're going to do, as long as you are determined and you need to expect that there are going to be difficulties, there are going to be hurdles. These things can help make you strong to get through what you want to get through. So keep moving on. I am happy when I'm on my cocoa farm in Liberia. I have a really big cocoa farm. I think I have the biggest cocoa farm in Liberia. And my goal here is to eventually take some students to Liberia on a field trip to visit the cocoa farm and see where chocolate comes from. I believe in equity, I believe in justice, and I believe in second chance. Because I know that I have made mistakes. I know people make mistakes. So when you make a mistake, I believe you should be given the second chance. And I believe if we all are treated equally, we all are treated fairly, we will make the world a better place. My name is Mr. Ebenezer Flomo. I teach world history and African American history, and I am a Cardinal Nation.
The world may look and feel very different, but we are back, baby. Let's hear it for Cardinal sports. So cheer with us as we celebrate some form of normalcy. As always, jump to that favorite spot as we bring you all the best saves and all the best shots for winners. Sports are back, and that's more than enough reason to celebrate. Sports Night is next.
With the win over Cooper last week, the tennis team continued its journey through the section consolation bracket. On Monday, the Cardinals hosting the other team from Robbinsdale, the Armstrong Falcons. It would be a battle to the end to see who would advance to the consolation final on Wednesday. Captain Caitlin Severson at first singles facing a girl she lost to 1-6-0-6 early in the season. Great approach to the net to win this point. She plays a strong match but loses 3-6-5-7. Second singles, Ella Georgie in the near court for the Cardinals. She gets a strong start, winning the opening set, but comes up short in 3-6-4, 0-6, 4-6. Katie Hinn possibly had her best match of the season against Armstrong. She controls the court on this point. Her patient play helped her to a dominant 6-0, 6-1 victory. Abby Ness in fourth singles, and I just realized I stole Howie's read.
Yeah, you're reading about it.
She sees her opportunity to get to the net here. Takes full advantage, but Ness loses in straight sets, 1-6, 6-7. Kelsey Goldman serving at first doubles. Emily Nicholas takes care of the return. Quick point, Goldman and Nicholas win 7-5, 6-3. They'll be a strong pairing for the Cards next year. Rowan Tom and Mary Olson in the far court at second doubles. Olson serves, Tom finishes. They win a nail-biter, 7-5, 6-7, 10-6. Gabby Newton and Nina Weimholt are the Cardinals' third doubles team against Armstrong. Weimholt with the quick reaction for the point, but Newton and Weimholt lose 4-6, 1-6. Cardinal season comes to an end with a 4-3 loss.
A couple events left for swimming and diving season. Last Thursday, the Cardinals were hosting the Osceola Orioles. From the very start, we knew this Battle of the Birds go right down to the wire. Both teams have some top-level speed, so it would be really up to the depth to pull the Cardinals through. Orioles won the opening relay, but the Cardinals put some heavy hitters at the top of their lineup. Second event is a 200 free, and junior Ella Hacker runs away with the win. She's in at 2 minutes, 0.4 seconds, 14 seconds ahead of second place. Senior Megan Schultz owns every record in the pool in school history, and she's in the 200 IM against Osseo. It's another dominant victory. Schultz tags up in 210.36. Cards take third and fifth and have the lead, but there are several lead changes and ties in this one. Cards down 14 points midway through, but they started the comeback in the 500 free. It's Hacker again, and again, she's all alone. Hacker lapped all but second place, winning in a time of 5:22.13. The Cardinals won the next four events, including a big one, 1-2 finish in the 100 backstroke. Sophomore Eleanor Defoe sets the pace with a winning time of 1:10.69, and freshman Trinity Hooten wasn't far back, taking second. So the match was tied at 86, all going to the final event, setting up a winner-take-all 400 freestyle relay. Cardinals opened with freshman Madeline Picott. She was followed by junior Emma Schmidt. The Cardinals stacked the back end of the relay with Hacker and Schultz. There was no way they would be denied. They sealed the victory with an impressive time of 3:56.24. Cardinals took third as well for a 96-90 final score. No state tournament, so it'll be the last race for the Cardinals, including the end to an amazing high school career. And while it'll be different, it almost didn't happen.
I mean, it was up in the air. We had no idea. You know, being an indoor sport, that was the concern.
The threat of cancellation loomed large over the fall sports throughout most of the summer. Club swimmers weren't able to train and compete as they normally would, and they didn't know if the high school season would happen.
I was really concerned for a while that we wouldn't have a season. And I'm super happy that we get to be here even with the different rules.
The Cardinals' first few meets were virtual. They were at their pool, their opponent at theirs. There are no fans in the stands, masks are mandatory on the deck, and in-person meets that they don't race every other lane, but on separate halves of the pool.
It's not going to be the same, and it hasn't been the same, but I'm just happy that we got the chance to still have in-person meets.
The extra regulations have changed the energy in the pool and can, at times, seem burdensome. But they're the steps that must be taken to continue to race through the water.
Well, I think we've done the things we need to do, and that's encouraging as well. And it just goes to show that, you know, if we take the right precautions and we're being safe, you know, I think we can get through this.
The Cardinals have a strong senior class, including a young lady that joined as a 7th grader and took notice of the school record board. She made it her mission to get her name up there as many times as possible, and as a junior, claimed all 11 school swimming records.
And I just kind of, you know, each year, I kept working for them and thinking about okay, how can we do it? And they were just kind of goal times for me. And it's really exciting to every time I break a record. And I'm really grateful that I was able to do that.
Megan will miss out on a 4th straight trip to state, which is disappointing, but she will push herself for personal bests in all her section races to finish on a high note. She will leave behind an impressive legacy, and there are a number of her teammates that are ready to carry the torch.
Obviously, you know, having, you know, a Megan Schultz on your team where she has every school record, it's a phenomenal opportunity for others to learn from her and see what she does every day, because she's gone next year.
The Cardinals will return a couple of other girls who have already had impressive careers in their own right, and a number of younger athletes have stepped up this season to help them score at every grade level. The Cardinals just hope to finish this season strong and see more things return to normal in the near future.
Just hope for the best. Hope that maybe in a couple months we can have more of a senior year, and if not, it's okay, but I think we just have to keep our hopes high. But I just kind of hope that I get to walk across the stage in the spring. That's just my goal for sure.
It hasn't been the year they had hoped for, like a broken record, but it's the one they got, and they're making the best of it. The Cardinals worked hard for the chance to compete, and they plan to finish as strong as they can.
It's a lot different, but it's still really fun.
The cross-country season looks a lot different than it did a year ago. There are fewer races, restrictions on numbers, and wave starts to keep teams spread out. Most of the Cardinals are multi-sport athletes who lost out on last spring, but they understand the decision.
I felt that was the safer thing to do because you can't really socially distance that well at track, especially when we didn't really know much about social distancing then.
In June, the Cardinals were able to return to some sort of normal. They changed how they ran, but still got together to get everyone ready for the season.
I think over the summer we were really good at staying safe and socially distant, but also getting all the hard work we need to get in.
Even with the season still in doubt, the Cardinals captain said they had a lot of support and enthusiasm at their summer sessions.
There was a good amount of people, even the new guys that were showing up, a lot of the younger guys in middle school and whatnot, coming to the high school practices.
They trained hard, not knowing whether it would pay off in the end. But eventually they got the news they were hoping for. The cross-country season could go on.
When we found out, it was pretty good because we put a lot of work in over the summer, but yeah, it was nice to hear that we would get to race.
There were still a lot of questions about what those races would look like. The MSHSL worked out guidelines to keep the athletes as safe as possible and still allow them to compete.
It wasn't until, just prior to the season starting that we really had a better understanding of what we were going to do. And then it was pretty much, we got to get going right away.
Meets have a very different feel. Social distancing regulations means fewer kids on the course at a time. Still, the chance to be out and competing is a much-needed release for high school athletes.
It's really refreshing just being able to take a break from the stress of online school and hang out with people that I like to be around.
The pandemic has taught these kids about how privileged they are to have this opportunity. Most public races have become virtual or they've been canceled altogether.
So it's like there's a lot of people that want to race, they don't get to. These guys get that opportunity to go out there once a week and race.
Like most people, the Cardinals wish things were different. They wish things could get back to normal. But now they know how precious the little things can be.
It's a little sad, but I can't really change it, so you just gotta kind of adapt and like take it for what it is and still enjoy the little things that we do get, like having the season, just enjoy that. Getting to go into school a couple of days a week, for some people still enjoy that, so yeah.
What happens over the remainder of the school year will depend on the community's ability to slow the spread. As of now, it looks as though winter and spring sports will happen, as long as the Anoka County numbers stay low.
We'll have to see. It's, you know, in this time everything's kind of questionable, so, but I'm really excited to see what comes, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to have it as normal as possible.
The Cardinals will finish out the cross-country season and keep their fingers crossed that things get better rather than worse, because they know nothing is guaranteed.
Now we know like it could be taken away at any moment, so we need to give it our all in the moment.